Just 4 years ago, the Milwaukee Bucks won an NBA championship and were the feel-good story of the NBA. They were on top of the league with a superstar that they drafted and developed, who stayed loyal in a small market, something that's rarely seen today, and brought them their first title in 50 years. And now, less than a half decade later, things have gone south, the franchise is in limbo, and the Milwaukee Bucks have a lot of decisions to make. Really quick, I wanted to thank you all for the support on the last 3 videos and wanted to say please like, subscribe, and comment if you're enjoying them. So let's start with the Bucks drafting Giannis Antetokounmpo with the 15th pick in the 2013 NBA draft. Milwaukee had been an average at best team for the past few seasons. And now here they are, drafting a young Greek kid who's seen as a project with high upside, whose weaknesses were listed as explosiveness and frame and would need to bulk up. During his first season in Milwaukee, Giannis and the Bucks were horrible. They finished with a 15-67 record, which was worst in the NBA. During his rookie season, Giannis would average just 6.8 points and 4.4 rebounds per game. They would have the second draft pick and select Jabari Parker, who would have been great alongside Giannis had it not been for injuries. In their 4 seasons together, the duo helped improve the Bucks' record as well as themselves. But in the 2018 offseason, Jabari Parker signed with the Bulls. But this was okay with Milwaukee as Giannis had turned into a superstar. And the Bucks still had a really strong core with guys like Malcolm Brogdon, Chris Middleton, and they traded for Eric Bledsoe. Things were looking up for Milwaukee, and in the 2018-2019 season, they finished with the best record in the NBA at 60-22. And that season, Giannis won his first MVP and was absolutely dominant. They also had a really good team built around him with Chris Middleton, Eric Bledsoe, Brook Lopez, and Malcolm Brogdon. This was the team's first taste of real success, but they would lose in the conference finals to the eventual champion Toronto Raptors. The next season, they returned much of their same core and again finished with the best record in the NBA, but were beaten in the conference semifinals by the Miami Heat, who were upset-minded and had already taken out the Pacers, would eventually take out the Celtics, before losing to the Lakers in the finals in 6 games. Giannis did win the MVP for the second straight season, and the Bucks looked like they would be longtime contenders. The 2020-2021 season was extremely special for the Milwaukee Bucks. In a 4-team deal, they would ship off Eric Bledsoe, a member of their key core of the last few seasons, and acquire Drew Holiday. They finished 3rd in the East, which was a dip from the past few seasons, but the team was more balanced overall, with 7 players averaging at least 10 points per game. And Giannis had another monster season, averaging 28.1 points and 11 rebounds, and finished 4th in MVP voting. The Bucks would be matched up with the Miami Heat in the first round of the NBA playoffs, and Milwaukee made quick work of them, sweeping the Heat and having only 1 game be competitive. Round 2 would be one of the best playoff series of the entire year. It would be the Giannis-led Bucks against the Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving Brooklyn Nets. The Nets took a 2-0 lead in the series after blowing the Bucks out in Game 2, but the Bucks responded, winning Games 3 and 4. The 2 teams split Games 5 and 6, leading to a Game 7 in Brooklyn. And if it hadn't been for Kevin Durant's size 18 shoe, his jumper with just 1 second left would have knocked the Bucks out of the playoffs. But instead, that just tied it to send it to overtime, where the Bucks would win by 4, behind 40 from Giannis. That would pit them against the Atlanta Hawks in the conference finals, where they won in 6 games and all 4 wins were by at least 11 points. Then came the finals against the Phoenix Suns. It was Milwaukee's first time back here since 1974. Giannis struggled in Game 1, scoring just 20 points on 11 shots, and the Suns would win that game by 13. In Game 2, Giannis responded, scoring 42 points and grabbing 12 boards, but the Suns would also take Game 2. But back at home in Milwaukee for Game 3, something changed. The Bucks would win this game by 20 points, behind Giannis's 41, and dominated quarters 2 and 3. Game 4 was a duel between Chris Middleton and Devin Booker. Booker dropped 42 and Middleton had 40 of his own, and the Bucks would come away with a 6-point win. Game 5 was yet another nail-biter, but again, the Bucks would come away with a win to take a 3-2 series lead. Then came Game 6. We saw one of the greatest finals performances of all time. Back in Milwaukee, Giannis would drop 50 points and 14 boards, leading the Bucks to their 4th straight win in the series and their first NBA championship since 1971. Milwaukee had developed Giannis for nearly a decade, and now all of that was paying off. It was a win-win for both sides. Giannis's loyalty had gotten him a championship, and the Bucks got to see their prospect turn into a superstar and bring their first title in 50 years. After this, the Bucks looked primed to run the East for years to come. But that hasn't happened, and the Bucks are running out of time. The East has only gotten stronger, and teams like the Pacers, Celtics, Knicks, and Cavs all look to have brighter futures than the Bucks do now. So what has happened in the 4 seasons since they won the title? And why does it seem like now it is do or die for Milwaukee? The season after their championship run, the Bucks were eliminated in the second round by the Boston Celtics. And in the 3 seasons since that loss to the Celtics, they have been eliminated in the first round every year. They fired their championship-winning coach Mike Budenholzer after the 2023 season. They then went through Adrian Griffin and Joe Prunty before landing on Doc Rivers in 2024. And their regular season record has only gotten worse since losing Budenholzer. So coaching has been a big issue for them. Another problem has been roster management and their current contracts. Only 4 players from that championship team remain in Milwaukee. In 2023, the Bucks traded Drew Holiday for Damian Lillard in a 3-team deal. The goal was to get more scoring on the team and pair Giannis with a star guard. Then, in February, they sent Chris Middleton to DC for Kyle Kuzma. Neither trade has worked out well, as Lillard has been extremely injury-prone in his time in Milwaukee, and Kyle Kuzma just doesn't seem to be a good fit. And by no means has Lillard been bad. This past season, he averaged 24.9 points and 7.1 assists per game. But with an Achilles tear in the playoffs at 34 years old, there's no telling if he'll ever be the same. And that brings us to the next point. The Bucks' payroll is a mess. Lillard is still owed $112 million over the next 2 seasons. And then Giannis is still on a $161 million contract that still has 3 seasons left. And there have been rumblings over the past 2 off seasons of Giannis wanting to leave Milwaukee. And Kuzma is also owed $42 million over the next 2 seasons. They don't even have a first-round pick in this upcoming draft, but do have 5 over the next 6 years. So how will the Bucks get out of this mess? They won't have a strong second option beside Giannis next year, with Damian Lillard undergoing recovery. Do they trade some of those future first-round picks and try to get a star? Or do they offload some of these big contracts and let Giannis go? Milwaukee would no doubt get a huge return if they traded Giannis. But how do you trade the guy who stayed in your organization when times were tough, developed perfectly, and became one of the NBA's best? So Milwaukee has some big decisions to make. Where do they go from here, and what do you think they should do? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video.